The drums were still echoing in the distance when a scream ripped through the midnight air. It was not the sound of fear, it was the sound of vengeance. From the depths of Umuife stream, bubbles rose, and the moonlight danced on dark waters that hid more than fish beneath. The villagers said it was the wind. The elders said it was the spirit of a woman betrayed. But the truth was older than all of them. Long ago, when men still settled disputes with machetes, and the gods still walked among mortals, there lived a woman named Ighole. Her husband was a proud man, the kind who measured worth in control. He beat her when she spoke too loud, starved her when she refused his touch. But when Ighole caught him sacrificing their 2 children to a river deity for wealth, she screamed and he struck her down with his pestle. Her body fell limp, her blood mixing with the earth. He dragged her by the legs and threw her into the stream behind their hut. As her body sank, her last breath escaped with a whisper, "Spirit of strife and vengeance, give me back what he has taken." Lightning cracked, the river boiled, and from its depths rose a new thing, half woman, half rat. From that night, no one fetched water at the stream after dark. They said the Ighole Spirit claimed the souls of the wicked, and sometimes the desperate. Generations passed. The story became a bedtime warning. Don't cry by the stream, mothers told their children. The spirit listens to tears. But in every generation, someone always wept too close to the water. Chidinma was that someone. She was born unlucky, they said. Her mother died birthing her. Her father followed soon after, and as she grew, so did the village's cruelty. The girls mocked her puffed forehead and wide nose. "Maduma," they'd shout, laughing. "Frog face, who will ever marry you?" The boys threw stones. Even the old women looked away when she passed, muttering, "Such ugliness must be punishment from the gods." Chidinma tried to stay silent, tried to be invisible, but pain has a way of growing claws when it's ignored too long. One evening at the market square, a group of girls blocked her path. Their laughter was sharp as broken calabash. "Ah, Maduma, you two want to buy beads?" one sneered. "For who? Even spirits won't take you." They pushed her, and she fell into the dirt. The crowd roared with laughter. Something inside her snapped. She ran, past the huts, past the fields, until her legs gave way by the stream. The moon shimmered on the surface, mocking her reflection. Her tears fell into the water like sacrifices. "Why?" she cried. "Why did you make me this way? Why can't I be beautiful? Just once, I want them to see me and bow." The water rippled. A cold wind brushed her cheek. Then came a voice, soft, melodic, dangerous. "Wipe your tears, my child. Tell me, what does your heart truly desire?" Chidinma froze. "Who's there?" she whispered. The voice chuckled from beneath the water. "A friend to the forgotten. I heard your pain, and I can help." She crawled back slightly, trembling. "Help? How?" A pale hand rose slowly from the stream, holding a mirror shaped like the moon itself. "Take this," the voice purred. "Each time you gaze into it, say the words, 'Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the finest of them all?' Your beauty will blossom beyond mortal eyes. Men will tremble, women will envy, but..." The water rippled violently. "You must never bear a child, and under every full moon your true face shall return. Do you accept?" Her mind screamed no, but her heart, raw and broken, whispered yes. She reached for the mirror. It was cold as death. She stared into it and whispered, "Mirror, mirror on the wall." A rush of wind circled her. The water glowed blue. Her skin shimmered, her face tightened, her eyes brightened. The ugly scars vanished. Even her tears sparkled. She gasped. Before her, the mirror showed a woman of such beauty it could blind kings. When morning came, the villagers gathered at the market square, as usual. But when a strange woman walked in, every head turned. Her skin glowed like sunlit bronze. Her hair glistened like night oil, and her eyes held storms. The men stopped talking. The women stopped breathing. "Who is that?" they whispered. A goddess? No one knew it was Chidinma. She smiled, slow and deliberate, as the same girls who once mocked her dropped their baskets in awe. One stumbled forward. You are new here?" Chidinma's smile widened. "You could say that," she said softly. When she walked past, the air smelled of envy. By sunset, the village had changed. Husbands argued with wives. Men offered goats for her attention. Women whispered charms to curse her beauty. But every time she looked in the mirror, the voice in her head hummed, "They deserve this. They all do." Each day she grew bolder. She made men fight for her, made the girls who bullied her scrub her yard, and laughed when they cried. "Now you know how it feels," she'd whisper, tilting her chin proudly. But beauty borrowed from darkness never stays silent for long. On the night of the full moon, as she lay in her hut, she heard whispers in the mirror. "Time to return, my child." Her reflection twisted, eyes darkening, lips cracking, skin deforming. She screamed and threw a cloth over it. When morning came, the mirror was still and her beauty restored. She promised herself she would never look at it under moonlight again. Weeks passed. Men from neighboring villages came bearing gifts. Chidinma basked in attention, but felt a hollow ache where her joy should be. Then one morning, at the stream, she saw him, Osaro, the hunter. His muscles gleamed with sweat, his bow slung casually across his chest. She smiled and waited for his gaze to linger like all others did, but he simply nodded and walked past. She frowned. "Excuse me," she called. "You don't greet properly?" He paused, turned. "I greeted," he said simply. "You didn't look at me." He smiled faintly. "Must I?" The path is wide enough for two. No man had ever spoken to her like that. She watched him disappear into the trees, her heart beating oddly fast. That night, she found herself thinking of him, replaying his indifference. It felt like an insult. Yet something about his quiet strength drew her in. Days later, she saw him again at the market. "Hunter," she called, stepping in his way. "You ignored me last time. Are you afraid to look at me now?" Osaro smiled. "I only look at what needs looking at." She raised a brow. "And I don't?" He shrugged. "Beauty fades, but kindness lasts longer." No one had ever said such words to her. For a moment, the mirror's voice was silent. That night, she couldn't sleep. For the first time since her transformation, she felt alive, not from being admired, but from being seen. The next morning, she found herself waiting at the stream where he often came to drink. When he appeared, she asked shyly, "Can I walk with you?" He chuckled. "If your feet can keep up." She laughed, a real laugh, and together they walked into the forest. Chidinma's heart raced as she stepped back into Umuife village. The air was thick with disbelief. Men stopped pounding yam. Women fetching water froze mid-step. The drummers by the market square dropped their sticks. Every eye turned toward her. This stranger, whose beauty shimmered like morning dew on the skin of a goddess. The village crier stammered, Who be that fine woman we just waka enter so?" "She be spirit?" another whispered. Chidinma smiled softly, her eyes glittering. No one recognized her. No one saw the lonely, ugly girl they once mocked. They only saw a woman so beautiful that even the moon would bow in shame beside her. She walked past the market where the girls who once called her Maduma now stood trembling. One of them, Ngozi, whispered, "This one fit make men forget their wife." And she was right. That evening, when the men gathered at the palm wine tapper's hut, talk of the mysterious beauty filled the air. "I saw her with my 2 eyes," said Uche, pounding his chest. Her face be like heaven. If you see a waist, chai, the gods themselves go kneel. The women hissed, pretending to be uninterested, but fear began to creep into their hearts. Soon, every man wanted her. Gifts poured in like the flood. The richest trader, Okoro, brought her gold bangles. The chief hunter offered his best leopard skin. The village priest even sent palm wine, claiming it was a blessing offering. But Chidinma wanted none of them. She smiled, played along, and watched as jealousy grew among the women like wildfire. The same girls who mocked her now spat at each other over who was more beautiful. Homes broke, men fought, friends became enemies. And every night, when the full moon rose, Chidinma's body would ache and twist. She'd run deep into the forest where no one could see. Her reflection in the stream turned back into the ugly girl. Big head, frog-like face, scars on her arms. Her screams echoed through the night as she whispered, "Mirror, mirror on the wall." But the magic refused to work until dawn. She lived two lives, the goddess of day and the cursed ghost of night. One morning, while bathing by the river, she noticed a man fishing nearby. His name was Osaro, the village hunter. Strong arms, steady eyes, a calm that felt older than the forest itself. When she smiled at him, he didn't turn. When she called, he didn't look twice. "Do you not see me?" she asked teasingly. Osaro looked at her with the gentlest of eyes. "I see you, woman. But I also see vanity, and vanity fades with time." Chidinma froze. No man had ever spoken to her like that, not since her transformation. From that day, something strange began to stir in her chest. She started visiting the stream at the same time every morning. Sometimes Osaro would bring fish, sometimes silence, and sometimes stories. Stories of the forest, the hunt, and the gods of men. For the first time in her life, Chidinma laughed. A real laugh, free of pride or pain. "Why do you not look at me like the others?" she asked one day. "Because beauty," Osaro said, "is a shadow that deceives the eyes. But kindness, that one shines forever." Her heart melted, and though she tried to resist, she fell deeply in love. Weeks turned into months. Osaro built her a small hut near the river, where they could meet secretly. The villagers gossiped, but none dared approach her. Then one morning, Chidinma felt something strange in her body. Her stomach churned, her breasts grew tender, and when she went to fetch water, she suddenly stopped, staring at her reflection in the stream. She was pregnant. "No, no," she gasped. "The spirit said I must not bear a child." Her hands trembled as she picked up the mirror. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me this is not true." The reflection smiled back, a cruel smile, twisted like smoke. "You broke the sacred bond, Chidinma," whispered a voice from deep within the mirror. "You carry what was never meant to be." She dropped the mirror, screaming. That night, she dreamt of fire. The Ighole Spirit appeared, her face blackened with blood and tears, her voice echoing from the underworld. "You were warned. Now the womb that defies me shall pay in pain." Chidinma woke drenched in sweat, clutching her belly. "No, you cannot have my child." Days passed. Shadows followed her. Every rustle in the bush felt like eyes watching. Every whisper of the wind sounded like the spirit's laughter. Osaro noticed her trembling. "What troubles you, my love?" She hesitated. Then tears spilled from her eyes. "I made a deal with something dark, Osaro. Long before you found me. I wanted beauty. I wanted revenge. And now, I fear it will take everything from me." He took her hands gently. "Then we will fight it together." But the spirit was already near. One night, the full moon rose red like blood. The forest was silent, too silent. Then came a wail, long and sharp, like a woman crying under the river. Osaro grabbed his spear. "Stay inside," he ordered. Chidinma watched as he stepped into the darkness, calling out, "Who goes there?" Then came the sound. Bones snapping, something dragging across the ground. Osaro's cry pierced the air, followed by silence. Chidinma ran out barefoot, her heart pounding. She found him lying by the riverbank, lifeless, his eyes wide open. The Ighole Spirit appeared behind him, her form rising from the mist. Half woman, half corpse, dripping in black water. "You disobeyed me," she hissed. "Now I claim what is mine." Chidinma fell to her knees, sobbing. "Please, take me, spare him." But the spirit only laughed, a sound like thunder in a cave. "You cannot bargain twice with vengeance, child." Lightning cracked. The wind howled. The stream turned red as the spirit vanished, leaving behind a darkness that clung to the air. Chidinma cradled Osaro's body, crying until her voice was gone. The mirror beside her cracked, and from it came the faint echo of the spirit's voice. "You are mine until the curse is fulfilled." Days later, the villagers found Chidinma's hut empty. Only the mirror remained, its surface dark and cold. Some said they saw her wandering in the forest, speaking to herself. Others swore that on full moon nights they could hear her crying by the stream. Her beauty faded, her heart broken, yet her curse continued. As the moon shone upon the still water, her reflection blinked. Not the woman she was, but the spirit she was becoming. And somewhere in the dark, a whisper rose again. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the finest of them all?" Watch till the end of this story. And if you're still here, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it so more people can discover the legend of the Ighole Spirit. Part 3 begins when Chidinma's curse takes her beyond the land of the living. The forest was silent that night, the kind of silence that makes your own heartbeat sound like thunder. Chidinma walked barefoot through the wet soil, her torn wrapper soaked with blood and tears. The moon was full again, mocking her with its light. In her arms, she held the cracked mirror that once made her beautiful. "Why?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "You took everything from me. My peace, my love, my face, even my soul." From the mirror came the faint hiss of laughter, the Ighole Spirit. "Everything has a price, Chidinma. You wanted beauty. Now you will carry the burden of it for eternity." Chidinma clenched her fist and screamed into the night. "No, I will not let you win." Her scream echoed through the forest, stirring the spirits of the old world. Owls fled their trees. The stream rippled violently. And in that moment, the ground beneath her feet began to glow faintly, a whisper of power awakening. She knelt beside the stream and spoke softly. "Mother of waters, if you still hear me, help me. I have sinned, but I have loved truly." For a moment, the water shimmered blue. Then a calm, soothing voice rose from the stream. "Your heart still beats for love, child. That alone can break the curse." Chidinma gasped. "How? Tell me how." "Face the spirit," the voice replied, "not as a victim, but as the woman she once was, the mother she lost, the pain she bore. Only compassion can silence vengeance." And then the stream went still again. Chidinma stood up, her resolve hardening like iron. She pressed her palm against her stomach. "My child, we will end this, for Osaro, for us." As she journeyed deeper into the forest, the mist thickened. The air smelled of wet earth and decay. The cries of unseen creatures echoed between the trees. But she didn't stop. Each step was a prayer, each breath a promise. When she reached the heart of the forest, she found it, a pool of dark water that shimmered like glass. Her cracked mirror began to hum softly in her hand. From the center of the pool, the Ighole Spirit rose again, taller this time, her hair flowing like black smoke, her eyes burning with hatred. "So, the spirit said, her voice like thunder. You dare return? Chidinma stood firm, tears streaming down her face. You are once, like me, a woman wronged, but vengeance has eaten your soul. You destroy because you are destroyed. The spirit sneered, you know nothing of my pain. Then show me, Chidinma cried. The ground trembled, the pool rippled, and suddenly, visions burst before her eyes. She saw the spirit past. A woman once beautiful, loved by her husband, betrayed and beaten to death. She saw her children drowned, her spirit calling out in agony for revenge. Chidinma fell to her knees, sobbing. You were not born evil, they made you this way. The spirit hesitated. For a moment, her face softened, the rage flickering like dying fire. Pain is all I know. Then let me share it, Chidinma said. Let me carry it with you. Silence. The forest held its breath. Then the Ighole Spirit screamed, louder than the wind, louder than thunder. The mirror shattered in Chidinma's hands, shards flying like stars. The spirit's form began to twist and fade, her voice echoing faintly. You would give yourself for love? Yes, Chidinma whispered. For love. The spirit's eyes dimmed. Her body melted into the pool, leaving behind only ripples. The forest sighed, the darkness lifting as the moonlight returned. Chidinma collapsed by the water, gasping for breath. She felt warmth on her belly. The curse had broken. The mark that once burned on her skin vanished, leaving her free, but her body was weak. She looked up at the moon and smiled faintly. Osaro, my love, it's over. Her eyes closed. The forest fell silent once more. Months passed. When the villagers came searching for her, they found nobody. Only flowers growing where she had fallen, and the faint reflection of her face smiling in the stream. Some say her spirit joined the water gods. Others say she watches over women who cry by riversides, whispering, beauty is a curse when born from pain. And on nights when the moon is full, the villagers still hear her voice drifting with the wind. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the finest of them all? Then the mirror's reply comes softly, like a sigh. The one who loved beyond her scars. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe, like, and drop a comment below. Tell us, what would you have done if you were Chidinma? Would you make that deal with the Ighole Spirit, or would you face the world in your own skin? This is just the beginning, because wherever beauty hides pain, the spirit of Ighole still walks among us.